Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. If you are new, my name is Tonya, and today we're going to be picking out my TBR for May. So I do have my TBR jar here, and I just filled this with prompts that I got off of Etsy. So I got a digital download with different TBR prompts, cut them up and put them in this jar. I'll have the prompts I purchased down below in the description box in case you were like me and did not want to write out all of your prompts. But yep, just thought this would be a fun way to pick my books for the coming month, and I thought that we could hang out while I do it. So the books that I'm going to be picking are either going to be physical books that I have here on my TBR cart, or they're going to be Kindle Unlimited books I've purchased and are on their way, or I do have some ARCs from NetGalley and I could put those in as well. I think I'm going to pick out 5 prompts and then give myself like a freebie book. I usually end up reading about 6 books a month on top of whatever audiobooks I listen to. So let's get started. Alrighty. So, prompt 1 is a thick book with 500 plus pages. So, I think I have the perfect one for that. Let me check the page count. If I ever get to it. I'm sure this is over 500 pages. Yep. Alright, so to read A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I have read the other books in the series, but for whatever reason I got off track and I haven't read this one yet. I know there's another book coming out, I think in August. I want to say it was announced it's coming out in August, but definitely want to have this one read before that. So perfect one to add to my TBR, and I love all of Sarah J. Maas's books, so it will be no problem for me to read this. Then our next prompt is an adventure novel. And you know, as I read fantasy, aren't they all adventure novels? So I think that kind of gives me an easy choice. So what do I want to pick? So I'm gonna choose Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. I have the second book that's in this series as an ARC on NetGalley, but I still need to read the first book, so this is a chance to do that. And I don't know much about it. I know there's dragons, so you know, how can you go wrong with dragons? You can't. There's a little better picture. And let's see. Is there a synopsis somewhere? So I'm really just going to read you like the first sentence. I'm just going to read you the first 3 sentences in the synopsis, and I think that sells me on the book, and maybe that'll sell you on the book as well if you haven't read it yet. Dragons are extinct, witches are outcast, magic is dying, but humans' lust for power is immortal. So that sounds like it is right up my alley. So that is what I'm going to choose for my adventure book. I think this definitely will qualify as one. And I haven't read any of Sophie Jordan's. I think this is her like debut adult romantasy. I know she has some young adult books that are pretty popular, but I think this is like her debut into adult romantasy books. So can't wait to check that one out. And then I got a spooky fantasy. I don't know if I have any spooky fantasies. I just finished Enchantra. That would have been a good one for this. So maybe that means I should do Phantasma, because I have not read the first book in that series yet, and I heard it's a very good book for like Halloween, that sort of thing. So We're gonna call this one Phantasma because I have that on my Kindle to read. But yeah, I'm not a big spooky person, so I don't have a lot of those kind of books around. All right, and then I got a magical realism novel. So let me see what choices I have there. All right, so for this one, I am going to choose The Lost Bookshop. That's on Kindle Unlimited, and it is by Evie Woods. So if you're not familiar with magical realism, it's basically just fantasy elements in a realistic setting. So I think this Lost Bookshop will be perfect for this particular prompt. And here's the synopsis on it. On a quiet street in Dublin, a lost bookshop is waiting to be found. For too long, Opaline, Martha, and Henry have been the side characters in their own lives. But when a vanishing bookshop casts its spell, these three unsuspecting strangers will discover that their own stories are every bit as extraordinary as the ones found in the pages of their beloved books. Yeah, so I think this will be a really good book. It sounds cute, kind of cozy fantasy as well. So excited to add this one to my list. And then how many is that? Okay, I've done 4, so we'll pick one more. Yes. And let's see if we can get one down at the bottom. Not that it makes a difference, because I put them all in there at the same time, but we shall see what I get. A book featuring your favorite mythical creature. Well, this one is super easy. I am gonna choose Emberclaw by L.R. Lamb. So I read the first book in this series called Dragonfall last month. Loved it. Plus, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous book. This is the Barnes & Noble edition, and it has all the sprayed edges and all the cutesy kind of things. I mean, the book itself, not very exciting, like as far as the outside, but I do love a good sprayed edge. So this is the second book in the duology, and it is the continuation of Everin and Arcadie's story. It does feature a non-traditional type of love story in it, which I found super interesting. Plus, it's very inclusive in the language it uses and the different characters in their books. So highly suggest this series. And as I mentioned, it has dragons, so, you know, always a plus. I seem to be very dragon heavy on my reading this month. So, those are all the prompts I'm going to pull out. I would also like to get to another book in the Echo Saga. I've read 4 of them so far, so I would like to get to another one of those if I have time this month. They're bigger books, so they take a little while longer to read. But I would like to get another of those books in this month just because it's a pretty complex series, so I'm trying to read them pretty close together just so I can keep all the characters and all the plot twists and all the different lands straight in my head. Because there's quite a few. If you haven't checked out that epic fantasy series by Philip Quintrell, I would highly recommend it. All of the books are on Kindle Unlimited, so really easy to access, and they're all out. So you don't have any sort of wait in between books. And then as far as audiobooks for next month, right now I'm listening to Glow of the Everflame by Penn Cole. If I do finish that one in May, then I'll go ahead and just start the 3rd book in the series. So just to recap, a book with 500 pages. That one is going to be A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. Then an adventure novel. We're going to do Fire in the Sky. A magical realism novel, that's going to be The Lost Bookshop, which is on Kindle Unlimited. A book featuring your favorite magical creature. will be The Beauteous Emberclaw. And a spooky fantasy, we're going to do Phantasma, just because I don't have any other spooky fantasy. So I would suggest reading Phantasma before Enchantra, which is not what I did, but there are some things that are revealed in Enchantra from the first book, so you won't have a complete surprise about everything that goes on in Phantasma. If you read Enchantra first, it won't ruin the book for you, but as I said, some things are revealed, so you're going to be going into the book knowing some details you wouldn't have known otherwise. So if you can, read Phantasma first, then do Enchantra. I'm not doing it that way, but I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. And then, as I said, for my 6th book, hopefully I can make it to the 5th book in the Echo Saga, and then audiobook-wise, just gonna keep trucking along on the Everflame books. So that is going to be it for today's video. Leave me down below what books you are looking forward to reading in May. That way we can all get some ideas of other books to read from one another. Take care, keep reading, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.